The crimson-clad royal guard, sworn protectors of Emperor Palpatine, were more than just ceremonial figures standing vigil in the shadows of Coruscant's imperial palace. Beneath their faceless helmets and silent demeanor lay a deeper purpose, far more sinister and far-reaching than the galaxy could fathom. Their loyalty was beyond question, their training beyond grueling, and their true mission, shrouded in the darkest corners of Palpatine's grand designs, was known only to the Emperor himself. They were his hands in the shadows, carrying out tasks so delicate and dangerous that even the most elite Imperial operatives were deemed unworthy. From the moment a potential recruit was selected, their life ceased to be their own. The Guard's training, conducted on isolated moons and uncharted planets, stripped them of individuality and welded them into the perfect instruments of Palpatine's will. Physical conditioning that surpassed even the rigors of stormtrooper training was only the beginning. Each Guard was trained in multiple forms of combat, from traditional blaster proficiency to the ancient martial art of Ekani. Yet the most critical aspect of their training involved mastering the art of secrecy. They learned to blend into the fabric of the galaxy, becoming invisible agents who could strike and disappear without leaving a trace. The Royal Guard's presence extended far beyond their ominous watch over the Emperor's throne room. Palpatine entrusted them with covert missions that spanned the breadth of the Empire, operations that could alter the fate of entire star systems without ever drawing attention to their source. One of their primary tasks was the elimination of threats to the Empire that could not be dealt with openly. Rebel leaders, dissenting governors, and even high-ranking Imperial officers who posed a risk to Palpatine's rule found themselves targets of the Guard's silent efficiency. The galaxy's criminal underworld, too, felt the cold hand of the Royal Guard. Palpatine understood the value of controlling the galaxy's illicit trade, but only under his terms. When syndicates grew too powerful or independent, the Guard was sent to remind them of their place. These missions often ended with the target's sudden and mysterious disappearance, leaving the rest of the organization in disarray, easily manipulated by Imperial forces. But the Guard's missions were not limited to the physical realm. Palpatine's knowledge of the Force and his obsession with the dark side required the acquisition of ancient artifacts and the suppression of knowledge that could empower his enemies. The Guard, though not Force-sensitive themselves, were occasionally sent to retrieve relics from forgotten temples or to destroy holocrons that threatened to reveal truths that could undermine the Emperor's control. These missions were perilous, for the sites were often guarded by ancient traps or rival seekers. Nevertheless, failure was not an option. Within the core worlds, the Royal Guard operated in subtler ways. Palpatine's political machinations required constant monitoring and manipulation. Senators suspected of disloyalty found themselves under the scrutiny of individuals they believed to be mere shadows on Coruscant's crowded avenues. The Guard's presence was a silent reminder that the Emperor's gaze was all-encompassing. In cases where persuasion or blackmail failed, accidents were arranged, accidents that served as a quiet but unmistakable warning to others. Yet the most profound and disturbing aspect of their service lay in their role as the Emperor's enforcers of dark experiments. Palpatine's pursuit of immortality and ultimate power led to horrific scientific endeavors. Secret facilities hidden in the far reaches of the galaxy were staffed with the best and most morally bankrupt scientists the Empire could recruit. The Royal Guard acted as overseers and enforcers within these labs, ensuring absolute loyalty and compliance. They carried out security, eliminated compromised personnel, and retrieved test subjects from across the galaxy. These experiments often delved into cloning, genetic manipulation, and the dark mysteries of the Force. The Guard played a direct role in procuring test subjects, whether they were political prisoners, captured rebels, or innocents taken from isolated worlds. Many of these individuals were never seen again, their lives consumed by the Emperor's insatiable hunger for knowledge and power. The Guards who carried out these tasks did so without hesitation, fully indoctrinated into the belief that every action served the greater glory of the Empire. The Royal Guard's missions grew even more critical following the destruction of the Death Star and the rise of the Rebel Alliance as a formidable threat. Palpatine understood that the war could not be won through conventional means alone. He unleashed his guards on covert operations designed to destabilize the Alliance from within. Infiltration became a key tactic. Guard operatives, under elaborate cover identities, joined rebel cells to gather intelligence, sabotage missions, and sow distrust among their ranks. The effectiveness of these operations was not always apparent, as the Guard's work was designed to be invisible. Victories were claimed by the visible forces of the Empire, while the Guard's influence remained in the shadows. As the war progressed, Palpatine's vision grew darker, and so did the tasks he assigned his royal guard. One of their most harrowing missions involved the culling of Force-sensitive children. Palpatine viewed these children as both potential threats and resources. The Guard was tasked with locating and abducting them before they could be trained by the remnants of the Jedi or fall into the hands of the Rebel Alliance. Those who exhibited strong potential were either turned into instruments of the dark side or subjected to the Emperor's experiments. The weaker ones were often disposed of, their potential snuffed out before it could be realized. The Guard's commitment to their secret missions demanded absolute loyalty. Any sign of wavering faith or hesitation in carrying out their duties was met with swift and brutal retribution. The very nature of their work ensured that their lives were in constant peril, not only from the enemies of the Empire but also from within their own ranks. Palpatine cultivated a culture of fear and competition among his guards, ensuring that only the most ruthless and capable survived. Guards who failed or betrayed their mission were dealt with personally by the Emperor, their demise serving as a grim warning to others. Perhaps the most intriguing and terrifying aspect of the Royal Guard's secret missions was their involvement in contingency plans that extended beyond Palpatine's death. The Emperor, ever calculating, foresaw the possibility of his own demise and prepared for it. The Guard was integral to these plans, ensuring that the Empire could endure even in his absence. They secured hidden strongholds, protected key personnel, and activated sleeper agents who would carry out his will long after his physical form was gone. These actions culminated in the events that would later lead to the rise of the First Order, a testament to the enduring influence of Palpatine's shadow. The Royal Guard, silent and unyielding, embodied the terrifying extent of Palpatine's control. They were more than protectors, they were the executors of his dark will, operating in a realm where morality and conscience held no sway. Their missions, carried out in the deepest secrecy, shaped the galaxy in ways the public could scarcely imagine. They ensured that Palpatine's vision of an eternal empire would endure, a shadow that loomed over the galaxy long after the Emperor's fall. Their loyalty was their strength, and their anonymity was their shield. The galaxy would remember them not as heroes or villains, but as specters, forever bound to the dark will of the Emperor. In their silence, they spoke of a galaxy under absolute control, a galaxy where fear and power reigned supreme. The Royal Guard was the embodiment of this control, the hidden blade that struck without warning and left no trace. After the fall of the Galactic Empire at the Battle of Endor, many believed that the terror of Palpatine's reign had been extinguished. The Emperor was dead, the second Death Star destroyed, and the Rebel Alliance ascendant. But for the Royal Guard, their mission did not end with the death of their master. In the chaos that followed, they executed orders embedded deep within their minds, commands that had been implanted for this very eventuality. Palpatine's death triggered contingency protocols that sent the remaining guards into action. They did not mourn, they did not falter. Their loyalty extended beyond the physical presence of their master. It was to the idea of the Empire, to the vision of order and control that Palpatine had instilled. They moved swiftly and decisively, disappearing into the void, carrying with them secrets that could change the course of history. Their first priority was securing the Emperor's most vital projects. On distant worlds, hidden research facilities carried on with their experiments under the watchful eye of the Guard. These locations were known only to a select few, and their existence was kept secret, even from the highest ranks of the Imperial military. In these clandestine labs, scientists continued their dark work on cloning, advanced weaponry, and the manipulation of the Force. One such facility, buried beneath the ice of a forgotten moon, housed experiments that pushed the boundaries of life and death. The Royal Guard ensured the security of these projects, eliminating any who threatened to reveal their location. When word of the Emperor's death reached the facility, panic spread among the staff. The guards acted without hesitation, executing the disloyal and imposing order through sheer force. Their mission was clear: the work must continue, no matter the cost. Beyond safeguarding these projects, the Guard was instrumental in the dissemination of misinformation. They orchestrated disinformation campaigns that misled the New Republic about the extent of Imperial remnants. Using false intelligence, they lured rebel forces into traps and redirected attention away from the true centers of Imperial power. These operations were critical in buying time for the scattered remnants of the Empire to regroup and reorganize. The Guard's influence was not limited to covert operations. In the power vacuum left by Palpatine's death, they became kingmakers among the remaining Imperial leadership. They identified those who could be controlled and manipulated, installing them in positions of power while quietly eliminating rivals. These leaders believed themselves to be acting independently, but their every move was guided by the unseen hand of the Royal Guard. Through these puppets, the Guard maintained the illusion of a fragmented empire, all while consolidating power behind the scenes. One of the most chilling aspects of their post-Endor operations was their role in enforcing Palpatine's posthumous will. The Emperor's secrets were not merely military or scientific, they were deeply tied to the dark side of the Force. Palpatine had left behind repositories of Sith knowledge, hidden across the galaxy. These vaults contained ancient texts, holocrons, and artifacts of immense power. The Royal Guard was tasked with locating and securing these items before they could fall into the hands of the New Republic or rogue Force users. The search for these vaults was fraught with danger. Many were hidden on worlds steeped in dark side energy, protected by ancient traps and guardians. The Guards, trained to face such perils, ventured into these forbidden places without hesitation. They faced threats, both physical and spiritual, their resolve tested against the malevolent forces that lingered in these ancient sites. Yet they succeeded, retrieving artifacts of unimaginable power and returning them to Imperial strongholds. In some cases, the Guard acted as the Emperor's emissaries even in death. They delivered cryptic messages to key figures within the Empire, guiding them toward specific actions that aligned with Palpatine's long-term plans. These communications, often encoded in ways only the intended recipients could decipher, reinforced the idea that the Emperor's vision still guided the Empire's destiny. For those who received these messages, it was as though Palpatine himself still commanded them, his presence an unshakable specter. One of the most ambitious operations undertaken by the Guard was their role in orchestrating the rise of the First Order. As the New Republic celebrated its victory, the Guard worked tirelessly in the shadows, facilitating the escape of key Imperial figures to the unknown regions. They established hidden enclaves where the seeds of the First Order could take root, far from the reach of the New Republic. These enclaves were designed as self-sufficient bastions, equipped with the resources and knowledge needed to rebuild the Empire under a new banner. The Guard's presence in these enclaves was a constant reminder of their mission. They oversaw the training of a new generation of soldiers and officers, instilling in them the same unwavering loyalty and discipline that defined the Guard. They ensured that the First Order's leadership adhered to the principles of Palpatine's vision, guiding them as they prepared for the eventual resurgence of Imperial power. Even as the galaxy moved on, believing the Empire to be a relic of the past, the Royal Guard worked tirelessly to ensure its rebirth. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of their legacy was their unwavering commitment to Palpatine's ultimate contingency, the resurrection of the Sith Eternal. On the hidden world of Exegol, deep within the unknown regions, the Guard played a pivotal role in laying the groundwork for the Emperor's return. They protected the Sith cultists who worked in secret, constructing massive fleets and conducting dark rituals aimed at restoring Palpatine to life. The Guard's devotion to this cause was absolute. They acted as guardians and enforcers on Exegol, ensuring the secrecy and security of the Sith Eternal's operations. They eliminated any threats to the project, whether they came from within or beyond. Their presence was a constant, silent force, driving forward the dark agenda that would eventually culminate in the Emperor's return. Even as the galaxy entered a new era, the influence of the Royal Guard remained. Their actions ensured that Palpatine's legacy endured, a shadow that loomed over the New Republic and beyond. They were more than soldiers, they were the embodiment of his will, carrying out his darkest commands with unyielding precision. In their silence, they wove a tapestry of control and fear, shaping the galaxy in ways that few could comprehend. The Royal Guard's true legacy was not their loyalty or their skill in battle. but their role as the architects of a dark future. They were the unseen force that kept the Empire's heart beating long after its apparent demise, a testament to the enduring power of Palpatine's vision. Their missions, carried out in the deepest secrecy, ensured that the galaxy would never truly escape the shadow of the Sith.